like searching your child's bedroom.
Oh,
I
that's
have
great.
like way too much of that memorized, including him calling a backpack a quote popular knapsack with many different pockets.
Yeah, the vegan who's not really vegan. I could go on forever.
Yeah,
it's just there's too much.
So anyway, a lot going on there. We also are gonna get to this horrifying situation with the NYPD where they chased down someone who jumped a $2.90 fare and ended in a bloody scene. A police officer was hit with friendly fire. The fare evader himself was killed. The passerbys were. It was an insane situation. So lots to talk about from New York City. So we'll get into all of that.
Right. Before we get to that, thank you to all of our premium subscribers. As a reminder, you do get the show early on Locals and in your inbox for our premium subscribers. So yesterday, for example, Counterpoints had a good debate with Matt Walsh over at the Daily Wire, and our premium subscribers got that early. I know quite a few have appreciated that, and it's gone quite viral now since. Yeah, it's been really, really interesting. So that's a way you can support not only our work, but you get the show a full hour early in your inbox, the full show, and also available RSS feed on Locals, etc. So subscribe if you want to be able to take advantage of that, breakingpoints.com. Let's get to Hezbollah, though, because this story has really captured the popular imagination. Outside of the geopolitical context, it's literally like out of a Bourne movie. Not of the details, the decision to do this. I mean, there's literal like a major death toll, geopolitical consequences from the United States, Israel, and Lebanon, a potential broader war. So we have some video that we can share people, but I mean, this is crazy stuff.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and put these new scenes of chaos. So on Tuesday, Counterpoints covered that Hezbollah pagers and some other devices that were not owned by Hezbollah exploded with creating mass chaos. I mean, you're talking about people who were at the market. Here you can see these are new images, walkie-talkies that exploded, and even things like this is a keypad entryway to get into a building that exploded. This is a picture of one of the devices, presumably after, it was blown apart. And it was sheer terror. You had people who were in markets going about their business, and then suddenly somewhere an explosion happens. People are panicking. You had innocent bystanders. You had children who were killed. So, some factions are calling this, this highly targeted attack. But in fact, it's the polar opposite of that. You had people who were at home with their families, out on their motorbikes, like I said, in a market when these things blew up, and whoever happened to be around was hit and was injured. So you now have thousands of injuries. You have somewhere around a dozen deaths, 4 of them children, by the way. So like I said, I don't think there's any way to describe it other than terror. It was quite clear, Israel hasn't officially taken credit for it, but quite clear that it was Israel behind these attacks. And we can also show you some of the evidence of how this all went down and how they were able to penetrate the supply chain in this manner. But in addition, here's Bibi Netanyahu thinking he's really cool and positioning himself as a new James Bond. Let's take a listen.
נתניהו, ראית שמשווים אותך לג'יימס בונד?
מה פתאום ג'יימס בונד? נתניהו, בנימין נתניהו.
So let's go ahead and put up the Wall Street Journal article that we have here that has some of the new details. Again, we had attacks on subsequent days. Tuesday was the pagers. Wednesdays was by and large walkie-talkies. The headline here is Hezbollah walkie-talkies blow up across Lebanon in second wave of attacks. Those walkie-talkies used by the group, they said, blew up in homes, cars, and in operatives' hands across the country. People familiar with the matter said just a day after thousands of pagers carried by Hezbollah members exploded at roughly the same time. The new attack killed 20 people, injured more than 450 after Tuesday's bombings killed 12 and injured more than 2,800 people. That's according to Lebanon's government, which blamed Israel, which is reasonable. There was a quote here from Yoav Gallant in terms of the broader geopolitical implications, because we've been covering here, in fact, Monday morning when Tuesday morning when this was all unfolding and we were getting the initial images, we were covering the fact that Bibi Netanyahu very much wants to expand the official war into Lebanon. Now, there's already been tit-for-tat exchanges between Hezbollah and Israel. That's not new. What he's talking about is a much more significant escalation, something that theoretically, at least, the U.S. Opposes. You have Yoav Gallant, the Israeli defense minister, who's kind of on the outs in the Netanyahu administration because he was more in favor of securing some sort of a ceasefire hostage deal. But he told the Wall Street Journal, the center of gravity is shifting to the north. This means that we are moving forces, resources, and energy to the north. I estimate that we are at the start of a new phase in this war. So any hope of, I mean, one thing that would end the Hezbollah attacks right away is if you had some sort of a lasting ceasefire deal in exchange of hostages. I think any hope of that is off the table, as long as, it's very clear the U.S. doesn't want to use their leverage to force any sort of a result on the Israelis. It's very clear Bibi Netanyahu wants to not only continue the assault that he has already been taking in, but he wants to expand into this new war as well. And, no end in sight, basically, Sagar.
There's so much to say, not only about the covert details, the attack itself, we'll get to that in terms of how it exactly folded out, showing how sophisticated Israeli intelligence is, but there's also a big why question, like why now? There's a couple of different stories out there. One is that this could be the precursor to some sort of larger attack. Two is that it actually means a larger attack's not going to happen. There was a third explanation I saw floated that Hezbollah had actually realized that there was something wrong with their pagers.
Yeah.
And that once they got intelligence that they might lose their ability to detonate these, they're like, well, we might as well just do it right now, whenever we have the ability. So all of those seem actually quite plausible. I'm not really sure. I did read that in Israel, there is a lot of mounting pressure on Netanyahu to actually either sign a ceasefire deal or enable some ability for those tens of thousands of people in the north of Israel sharing a border with Lebanon to be able to return home. That actually could be a part of the impetus as well, to try and satisfy the domestic. I mean, people are pissed. They haven't been able to live home in over a year. So that could be part of it. But yeah, I mean, when you pair that with the calculus, I mean, it's extraordinarily brazen, right? I mean, you have, over 1,000 of them seem to have exploded. Multiple people were killed. Multiple bystanders were hit. I mean, the videos that we showed and they showed previously yesterday, literal grocery stores and everywhere, they basically didn't really care about any potential collateral damage, and they sent that page immediately. I mean, it's one of the most brazen intelligence operations and assassination, things that has played out in history. I also think it's a really good reminder. Modern war is not glorious. It's not like a movie or Call of Duty. Watch videos coming out of Ukraine. You have guys who are Russian and Ukrainians napping in a hole, and they look up and they see a drone who drops a grenade on them, and then they literally blow up into smithereens.
Yeah.
Or here, and like this. This is what actual technological warfare looks like. It's bad. Like being able to watch people get their limbs blown off. I don't recommend it, but I have watched now several of these videos, and this is what it actually looks like. This is what you actually want to stop from happening generally.
The reaction to it has been really just dark, in my opinion. Like the level of dehumanization of, I guess, any Arab population at this point is really quite astonishing. And think about, use the Russia-Ukraine example. Okay, imagine Russia partnered with China, which they're allies.
Which they have,
and were able to similarly infiltrate the Ukrainian supply chain. And we're able to, blow up thousands of pagers, walkie-talkies, cell phones, whatever, electronic devices indiscriminately across Ukraine, with a significant toll on children killed, random people just happen to be nearby, family members, etc. Imagine the way that would be discussed. People would see clearly, like, this is horrifying. This is indiscriminate. This is a terror attack. That would be discussed in a very clear way. Here, not only is it not discussed that way, overwhelmingly, there are a few exceptions out there, but it's discussed as like, wow, how cool and amazing, and LOL, look what happened to them, et cetera. And, it's just really disturbing the way that people are able to put their humanity to the side, put the humanity of this, entire nation of people to the side, entire region of people to the side, just based on the U.S. propaganda that they're fed. So, I mean, that's part of what's really dark here. Sagar, you're alluding to as well. Like, once you open these doors, they don't close again. Like, this is the new reality, is that this could be a weapon in anyone's hands.
Well, it's
like,
that's scary. And that's kind of what I wanted to focus on too, is, how many years have we been talking about here on this show? We don't make anything. This entire phone is made outside of the United States, the chip inside of it. Do you really know? I mean, as far as I know, you can't even take the back off of your iPhone. You have no idea what's in this
inside.
phone.
That's right.
You don't know what's inside. I don't even know what's in any of these cameras. And how many of us buy new electronics on a day-to-day basis? So So this is a very good glimpse into it. Look, it could be used against us. It could be used against anybody. And the details of how this all went down actually